Hi again everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, and today we're taking a look at the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action cam. Now we're going to be looking at this in its use case as a dash cam. We do have the box here and it spells out its specs there. It's 4K, full 4K camera here with the Sony IMX317 sensor. Got the Mi logo and the Mi Home app on the side there. 2-hour battery life. And we have a 1400 milliamp hour battery, an f2.8 aperture, and a field of view of 145 degrees there with a 7 glass lens element. And this is Xiaomi's first action cam, so it'll be interesting to see how it performs in daylight, sunset and nighttime. Opening the box here, we're greeted with the manual. If we can just get that out. Instructions are in English and in Chinese, which is good. A lot of these Xiaomi products are in Chinese only, so it is good to see that it is being tailored for the mainstream market here. If we open it up a bit more, we do have the protective lens sticker there, which came with the camera when I unboxed it initially. And we do have a USB to micro USB cable in there, and there is nothing else inside the box. This camera does record at a few resolutions. We do have full 4K at 30 frames per second, no 60 frames per second. Image stabilization is not available in 4K, but it is available in 1080p. Do have 2.7K, 2.5K and other resolutions there. Taking a look at the front of the camera, we do have the f2.8 aperture lens there. Off to the side here, we do have the flap for the micro USB port, which can be slid open and shut. This isn't a waterproof camera, I must point out. Xiaomi have released the waterproof case separately in the last few days actually, and that is available to purchase over on GearBest. And do check them out there for a great deal on that. Turning to the top of the camera, we do have the speaker there, the microphone and the power button there. And we do have a status LED on the front of the camera itself, which does indicate whether it's charging or not, or it's low on battery, or it's in use. Do have a 7 glass elements, as I pointed out there before, a UV filter which is handy for sunny extreme environments, and the 145 degree field of view there. On the bottom we have a standard 1/4 inch screw for mounting on tripods or whatnot, and it does charge 5 volt at 1 amp there. Taking a look inside the camera, we do have the little compartment door there to open the camera itself. It is as we can see here, a 3.8 volt and 1450 milliamp hour battery there, which is quite a large capacity for an action camera. A lot of action cameras do only the 1000 or 1100 or 1200 milliamp hour mark. If we do press a notch in a little bit there, as I've done already, I've already inserted a Alexa micro SD card. So this is the micro SD card slot there. It's not in its own separate place, in which does happen on other action cameras, so if the battery does heat up, then that might prove some cause for concern, but we'll have to see in our reliability testing in the future. As you can see, the status LED has come on as we power on the camera itself. We do have a nice sharp image there. I believe it's a 960 by 540 pixels screen there, which does provide a high PPI. In the top left hand corner, we've got the resolution that's selected. In the top right hand corner, the battery life left. We slide over to the left there, we've got all the modes there: video, time-lapse video, slow motion, loop recording, which is what we're using here for dash cams, video and photo, so you can do cycle between video and photo taking in one go. Photo mode, self timer for selfies, burst mode and time-lapse photos. in addition there. So quite a lot of modes there. And if we slide over to the right there, you can see we've got the previews of the videos that have already been recorded on the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action camera there. You can see that's the full 4K resolution. It does display some information such as the file size. We do have some options there. If we go in there and play it, then we do have a nice smooth playback there. You can adjust the volume on the fly. I must say that the gain on this microphone is quite high. I wish they'd put it down a bit because it does pick up a lot of noise, and a lot of it quite loudly, and can lead to some distortion. Sliding back there, back to the home screen, press this little icon in the lower right hand corner there, and we do have even more options on hand there for the settings. As you can see in the video mode, we've got video length, the resolution that we can select, quality, superfine, fine, or whatnot. Say 4K, 2.5K, 1080p at up to 130 frames per second, and 720p slow-mo at up to 200 frames per second. So not the 240 or 120 that we're used to standard. We also do have electronic image stabilization using the gyro in 1080p, not 4K, and we do have the option, as you can see there, to turn on the automatic recording of the camera itself when the camera turns on, if you're powering it on in the car, for example. Metering mode, EV, date and time stamp, and we also have the adjust lens distortion, so that will help in reducing the fisheye effect due to that 145 degrees field of view. Sliding down from the top, we've got a few more options. We can turn on the Wi-Fi there. This is to connect to the Mi Home app. Pretty straightforward. Do have the screen lock and power on and off there. So as you can see, if we just bring it up in a second, the screen is locked, just slide it down there and it's instantly unlocked again. And we have the other page of settings there, so you can choose between NTSC and PAL, so that's 24, 25 frames per second. Format the micro SD card in there, tells you how much space is left. You can select the default mode for time-lapse video, loop recording, slow motion, photo video, or what not. The beep volume of the camera, the LCD brightness, high, medium and low settings we have on offer here. You can also rotate the screen, which is quite handy there, so you can turn it upside down, as you can see there, which does make it easier when using it as a dash cam. Auto screen lock set to never, or auto power off. Wi-Fi and in-housing mode, which is used with the waterproof case, which just came out, so that does make the menu changes the menu, so it's a bit easier to use underwater. And we have the user guide here, which is nice to see. It's the setup process for when you get the camera itself, actually. And as you can see there, just gives you a quick run through. And it actually also suggests some micro SD cards that you should use, some high quality ones from SanDisk here, UHS 1 or 3 there, and some Kingston ones as well. So yeah, we have the device info there as well. Can change the English and Chinese languages, model, firmware, and the date and time. So you don't even have to, set the date and time yourself. It's done when you synchronize the camera through the Mi Home app itself. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the run through of the video of the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action camera in here. It does have Wi-Fi BGN and Bluetooth version 4.1, so pretty up to date there. 6-axis gyro, 145 degrees field of view, f2.8 aperture, pretty reliable, pretty solid. Feels pretty solid. It's not as it's actually a bit wider than other standard action cameras there. I haven't actually felt it heat up too much, which is quite good, and is a rarity for action cameras. That's going to do it for this quick look at the Xiaomi Mijia 4K, and I'll provide some dash cam samples after the break here. Hi everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, and we're back with the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action cam. This time we're recording at 4K 30 frames per second, middle of the day here in sunny Perth, Western Australia. And this time the adjust lens distortion correction option is turned off. Hi again everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, and today we're taking a look at the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action cam. Now this is recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. There is no image stabilization, and the adjust lens distortion option is turned on. So that will hopefully reduce the effect of the fisheye lens of this action camera. And we are recording in the middle of the day here, so fairly bright sunlight. Hi again everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, taking a look at the Mijia Xiaomi 4K action cam here. We are recording at its native highest resolution of 4K at 30 frames per second. The adjustment for the lens distortion is turned off, and we are driving here at sunset here in Perth, Western Australia. Do note that there is no electronic image stabilization available in 4K, so no use of the 6-axis gyro on board. Hi everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, and we're taking a look at the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action cam. Now we're recording this at sunset, and we do have electronic image stabilization turned on. So this is at 1080p at 60 frames per second, and the adjustment for lens distortion is turned off. So we get a good feel in this video for how good the 6-axis gyro is on this camera here. It's a Bosch gyro in combination with software to enable the electronic image stabilization of the video taken. Hi again everyone, Adrian Hughes here with HughesyTech, and we are back with the Xiaomi Mijia 4K action cam. This is nighttime footage at its native highest resolution of 4K at 30 frames per second. Adjust lens distortion is off, and of course there is no electronic image stabilization in 4K on this camera. Quick shout out to Justin and Victor tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy the ride.